Good evening everyone and welcome along to League of Europe. We are here for F1 2021 action and Season 7, Division 1, round number 5 of the Championship as we take in the Monaco Grand Prix from, of course, the Circuit de Monaco. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a Saturday night, and joining me in the commentary box it is the 4-time League of Europe Division 1 champion, it is NSX Montana. Montana, how you doing?
Good evening everyone, I'm doing excellent and looking forward to this one. Crown jewel of Formula 1. It'll be an interesting one. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
Interesting one indeed, and I think honestly it sparks a bit more interest because we've had 4 different winners in the first 4 rounds of the championship as well, so everything is on the line. Of course we're expecting a full grid tonight as well, which around Monaco could cause quite a few issues, especially in qualifying where there is a limited space around a very short track like this. To remind you of course what actually happened last week, Connor did take the victory out on track but was awarded a 5-second penalty for having a collision, I think it was towards the end of the race where he actually had the collision. It's a bit questionable, I think, in terms of the stewarding. I think he should have actually won that race. So Connor would have been leading the championship by 2 points, but he is not. He's 13 points behind in third. It's Justas still leading the way of the championship on 48 points. Campbell in second on 43. Connor, as I mentioned, in third on 35. Jensen in fourth on 34. He, of course, won the race last week. Verstappen in fifth on 30. Izza in sixth on 28. Nathan in seventh on 23. Rocco and Killblue tied for 8th on 18 points, and Ruta in 10th, along with Stephen tied on 15 points. Yildirim, Kumbly, Neo still all tied on 14 points. Nelson Marine ran off the top 15. Pease there 16th. Packer, Dylan and Daniel all tied on 17th, in 17th position on 8 points. And your only other driver to set an actual, or actually score points this season, he's on 5 points. Nuff, Cantera, Macho, Lex and Rudy have not scored points so far this season. And Montana obviously coming into tonight, fresh look for Connor, because obviously he's there in third position. Should have won the race last week. He's bound to make up for it tonight.
Yeah, he told me the steward's decision motivated him, especially to grind it, and he has got a plan for tonight. He's definitely hungry to have some redemption here, like good old Danny Rick had at the time as well. And him and other wheel users will definitely be looking forward to this one. And yeah, they should be really hungry for tonight.
Yeah, really hungry for tonight. No pun intended in terms of the track that we're going to be going to later on in the season, of course. But Justas out on top in terms of the championship, in terms of the constructors' standings as well. I'm just going to get them up for 1 second. And there's Mercedes leading the way on by 4 points. 73 points for Mercedes leading the way. AlphaTauri there in second on 69 points. Ferrari in third on 56 points. Alpine in fourth on 54. Alfa Romeo in fifth on 43. Red Bull in sixth on 37. McLaren and Aston Martin tied for 7th on 26, Williams in 9th on 14, and Haas in 10th on 12 points. Mercedes obviously leading the championship. Montana in the constructors. They were less than consistent last week, of course, compared to AlphaTauri, who outscored them by nearly 20 points. Just comes to show how close the battle is at the top of the constructors. Yeah,
last week we were talking about the first 3 teams in the constructors championship, and now just AlphaTauri catapulted themselves up there with 1 result. That was pretty decent. So yeah, Mercedes under pressure again, with Campbell being quite decent around this track, I know that. And also Verstappen is not too bad around street circuits, a bit hampered by the pad obviously, but yeah, constructors looking as tight as the drivers championship so far.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously we have to, of course, come on to the Jolyon Palmer reference about street circuits, of course. You've got to be aware, what is it again? Let's have a look, I need to get it up.
You have to be alert at all times on the street circuit, I think.
Yeah, alert to be... hang on, I'm trying to even see it myself, because I've even forgotten. You have to be an alert on a street circuit, that's what he said, and yes, you do, of course. It is the jewel in the crown in Division 1 this season. Of course, Montana, you're not racing tonight, you're in the commentary box with me, and obviously, Monaco is one of those tracks where I absolutely love to commentate on. It's one of the most historic tracks, of course, in Formula 1. Of course, one of the only tracks, bar Silverstone, of course, that actually has held every Grand Prix here, apart from 2020, of course, due to the coronavirus pandemic. But the Monaco circuit, 3.3 kilometres and then 2 miles around the streets of Monaco. Of course, they start at the Grimaldi Castle, in between the Grimaldi Castle and Saint-Devote corner at turn number 1, and they wind their way through the streets, of course, of the Monegasque region, and this is going to be a fantastic race, I know for sure. 19 turns, of course, just the one DRS on, one's down the start-finish straight, and it should be a fascinating night. And if the PSGL F3 race is anything to go by, which I commentated on around here just last week, we could see moves around the outside of Massenet.
Could see ambitious moves everywhere. My favourite one is always down the inside of Mirabeau. That's a beauty. But yeah, really difficult to overtake here, especially in such a tight league. But you have to be a bit ambitious, have a bit of luck, and just play it strategically right. Then there's always possibilities to see a couple of overtakes around here.
Yeah, definitely so. The Aston Martin looks like he's going to be the first man out on track. I think that might be Packer who's the first coming out on track. Indeed it is. Oh, and he's just been beaten by Williams coming out first. And that is Koen Bly coming out first. Of course, Koen up there in terms of the standings. One of the drivers, of course, that is on a wheel. Wheel, of course, being more of an advantage around here compared to a pad. But Koen Bly, first man out on track. And as you can tell, Montana, it is night time, because the organisers have obviously put night time within the game, and obviously Cody's have put that within the game, but the drivers, the organisers, of course, of League of Europe actually voted on whether there's actually pack a tricycle down the inside of Koen Bly down in towards Mirabeau. Never ever going to try and get that one done, but Koen Bly, first man out on track, the Packer consistently following in the slipstream, and I think that's probably the right thing to do around here.
I think he wants to get the screen on time with the first lap being set, but just about not looks like he's gonna get it, as you already see racing here. Yeah, you mentioned it nighttime from Monaco, a bit of an odd feature from Codemasters, but as a driver it's actually quite pleasant, so you don't get blinded by the sun coming out of the tunnel, so it's actually quite nice to drive at night around here. As the Packer is now dropping off because he has to resignate and set the second lap. That's gonna be on the board here.
Yeah, definitely so. Koen Bly then is coming around the final corner at Ancy-Norge, and now on the run up towards turn number 1. There's the Grimaldi Castle just off the left-hand side through the final corner. Now Koen Bly on the run down in towards Saint-Devote at turn number 1. Then up the hill through Beaurivage, of course, the kink at 2, which is this corner here. And then in towards my favourite section on the track, it is Massenet coming through turn 3. And then Casino Square coming through turn number 4. See many, many different moves around the outside and inside there. 18.3 through the first sector from Koen Bly, down in towards Mirabeau, and now in towards the Grand Hotel hairpin. You can tell by that because Hotel's off to the right hand side of the driver's eye views. We now come through the right hand of turn 7, and then in towards Portier, turn number 8, of course, where Pascal Wehrlein famously rolled into the wall after a collision with Jenson Button in 2016. Through the tunnel, and now on the run down into the Nivelle chicane. Of course, this is the familiar Nivelle chicane, not the one that they use in Formula E, of course, around here. And Koen Bly now coming in towards the back at turn 12. This has looked good, I've got to say, in terms of his lap time so far. 51.5 through the middle sector, now coming through the piscine section, otherwise known as the swimming pool section. Then in toward La Rascasse at turn number 18. Pretty much a circuit, a lap of the circuit is already done as Koen Bly now comes out the final corner on the run to the line. This is going to be a 109, I think, to start off the night. Koen Bly to the line, 109.3. That is a pretty decent lap to set off, as Packer even goes quicker than him by 0.3 of a second. Nathan there drops into second as well, and Justas, championship leader, goes quickest, 108.5. Is that the lap time to beat early on?
Yeah, that's a banker you want to set around here. It just gives you so much confidence for the whole session, and yeah, that's a benchmark, I think. I've done some laps actually today on F1 2021, and yeah, 108.5 is not too bad, but I think they can go close to the 1.7s, I think. But yeah, decent job by our championship leader, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd be very surprised if we do not get to 107.9, I think, by the end of the session. We've still got 14 minutes in the session left to go. Justas out on top, Packer there in second, Nathan in third. Rudy, by the way, came across the line, and the other Ferrari went 7th. And now, actually, Yilbream goes second, 108.8. And did he nearly have a collision with an AlphaTauri coming out the pit lane there?
Yeah, that's so dangerous around this track. You want to be as close as possible to the inside wall when finishing the lap. And Conde just appeared, literally spawned out of the pits there. Yeah, that was a really close call. But luckily for both of them, no DNF, but that could have gone really wrong there.
It could have gone really wrong indeed, and of course, Connor, after that 5-second penalty, of course, 3 license points, of course, added to his license, of course, here in League of Europe Division 1, and he is now on an outlap. No qualifying ban or anything, we should be expecting a very good lap time from him. Looking at the likes of Verstappen and Killblue, though, further down the field, 18th and 19th position, 110.7, they're around each other, I think, on track as well. Verstappen especially, coming through Massenet and now through Casino Square, but Verstappen, 18th at the minute, 110.7, is that a representative lap time at the minute? Because he is improving in the first sector.
I've just watched it. I think he's doing a long run or something, because he's done 110.7s in a row, and now he's just following Nathan closely, not activating his ERS as well. So I don't know what his plan is. Maybe saving a set of tyres, just getting the feel of the track, but certainly a not strategy there.
Gary wishing in the comment section, by the way, they could be as quick as Justas around here. 108.5 from Justas so far, out on top. Yildirim in second, Packer in third. Good evening, Gary, by the way, if you are tuning in now. If you haven't tuned out, Verstappen now coming through the swimming pool, actually invalidated, coming through the Nivelle chicane, so he's not on a lap. Connor is, though, 18.4 through the first sector, through the Grand Hotel hairpin, now coming through the right hand of 7, and then in towards, of course, Portier, turn number 8. And this has looked quite quick so far from Connor. Nicely done, coming out of Portier.
No
now coming through the tunnel and in towards, and no ERS actually being used up on this lap, so it looks like he's going to go probably banker and then go for his flying lap.
Yeah, that smells like a medium tyre coming up on the next couple of runs. Just wanting to set a benchmark maybe, and that he has a delta. And actually, considering that's a no ERS lap, it's not too bad. Only half a second off Packer until the middle sector, but he doesn't want to set a lap that is too quick, even lifted a bit on the exit there. So he'll be ready for a medium run quite soon, I guess.
He's still set to 110.1 though, on a set of soft compound tyres with no ERS, and again, he's not using any ERS up the hill, coming through Beau Rivage and up through Massenet. The Haas, I think, was just going slow in front of him, that I think is Jeroen on an outlap, if I'm not mistaken. And Ryan, I think, is coming through the middle sector. There was a bit of front wing damage, actually, just coming out of the Grand Hotel hairpin. Not sure who that might have been, but drivers now preparing up for their laps. Nathan looks like he's going to be coming back into the pit lane, and he takes the wide out line coming into the pits, but Justas still out on top. Yildirim second, Packer in third, and with 7 minutes gone in qualifying, it's all about Justas at the minute.
Yeah, no one even close to him. Yildirim doing a great job on pad so far in the session, but yeah, Justas has the gap. It's just about how much the other guys can improve and increase the risk gradually in the session.
Well, I think Nuth is the first man on a lap, if I'm not mistaken. The German coming through, and actually he's invalidated, so he's on this next lap invalidation. Is Nuth on the run down in towards Mirabeau, and he was 2/10 up in the first sector as well, so obviously not improving in terms of his time. But from a set of mediums around here in Montana, 109.9, 15th position at the minute for Nuth. Where can you see him physically going? Because I always think around about a second improvement around here from mediums to a set of softs.
It's tricky. If you have the confidence, you can actually be 3-4 tenths off on a set of mediums. But at the same time, when you're not as confident, you just need the grip. You can actually improve up to 1 second. So, yeah, depends on the drivers. Nuth obviously is a decent driver around here, so he might improve just a little bit.
Keep the view.
Maybe 8, 9, 10.
Keep the viewers entertained. I'm just going to check out something because I thought somebody fell down the stairs or something. Hang on.
All right. I just have to look what James is on board then. But at the moment, Isa is about to finish his lap, and for a pad driver, he's doing quite well so far. And he seems to be improving quite a bit. Let's see if he can put himself in a decent position. Yeah, P4 that is. It's a decent effort from him. Just looking at who's on a fast lap. As Jensen is out of the session. Wow, that's through the middle swing pull chicane, I think. Yeah, has he done a Leclerc? I think he has done a Leclerc.
Who's done a Leclerc? Oh, there was a front wing damage,
Jensen.
certainly there.
I think Jensen, yeah, Jensen has crashed in swing pull chicane, if I'm not mistaken. So
what?
He's out of the session.
Yeah, no improvement from Jensen. Sorry, by the way. Kids were knocking on our door, apparently, and they were kicking our door down, which is weird. things you get in Northern England. Justas out on top,
Okay.
Yildirim in second, Packer there in third. Packer actually now on a set of medium compound tyre, which is obviously going to be quite key for him in the session going forward, of course, going into the race. Is there in fourth, and he's actually gone straight on Sergio Perez style, actually down in towards turn number 11 and 12, and that's the Nouvelle chicane he was just there at. He was getting out of the way of drivers, I think, through there, but is there in fourth. Nathan, however, coming through the first sector, see if he's improving through the first sector. 900s down on his lap time so far. Interesting though, he's on a set of softs, and actually majority of the drivers on a set of softs. You said to me earlier on that we're going to be maybe quite a few guys in a set of mediums, maybe a threat of rain possibly in the race.
Yeah, hard to call. Would be great if you have some intel in the comments or on Discord soon. But yeah, people going on mediums now, like Justas, you can see, so he thinks he can improve on that time even on mediums. And Packer was improving, but then he touched a wall, which is quite easy to do, as we saw a 360, I think, in the middle sector from someone. Not sure who that was.
Yeah, not sure who that was either. Nathan's still improving, 300s up in the middle sector, now coming through 18, and then coming through the right-hand of turn 19, and Nathan on the run towards the line. Is he going to go into the 108 with this lap? On the run to the line, yes, 108.9. Doesn't improve in terms of his position, but he does improve in terms of his lap time. He goes there into 5th position, 108.9. Still Justas out on top. Justas now on that set of medium compound tyre. Campbell as well on a set of mediums, as well as Packer. So the top guys really going on that set of medium compound tyre. Just trying to flick through, actually. It looks like nobody is actually on a lap. Wouter is, he's a 10th down.
Yeah, and Justas just tapped the wall quite heavily there. But I think he got away without damage, so he continues on his medium run. First sector not too bad, but he seems to be missing some apexes. Obviously I have to get used to the lower grip level, but Campbell in P2 also trying to set medium laps now. So it's really interesting to see his strategies.
Yeah, really interesting. I think drivers are obviously getting a feel before they obviously try and improve later on in the session, perhaps. Justas still out on top though, Campbell in second, Yildirim in third. And Yildirim actually, he's on a set of soft compound tyre. He's 100th up through the first sector, now coming through the Nouvelle chicane. Looked like he pretty much cut all 4 wheels over the curb there. He didn't. That is the natural racing line through there, and he's 2.5 tenths up, Yildirim, through the middle sector. He's finding a lot of time. Now coming through the swim pool section, nice and negotiated. He just lost a little bit of time. He's got Nathan in front of him coming through. Raskas just about gets out the way as Yildirim comes through Anthony Norge. I think this is going to be possibly pole position as Yildirim now runs to the line. He goes second in the end. He's only 600ths of a second off. It's Justas out on top, Yildirim in second, Campbell in third, but Yildirim now meaning business in behind Justas. Certainly
Connor.
drivers improving as well.
Yeah, Connor's this purple instead of mediums. Absolutely sending it like there's no tomorrow. Little slide in Raskas, but is he gonna nip them? Oh, the rear tires are gone, even on the mediums. So he has to go for a second run on these tires.
Wow.
It's still pole. Wow, there's so much more in there as well. Not bad.
A 108.5, and considering I rode on board with him coming through Raskas and Anthony Norge, and was sideways through both corners. How on earth he's 9,000th of a second ahead of Justas is beyond me. Justas' lap time, we thought that was good. Connor on a set of mediums, he still has to go to a set of soft compound and tyre. This could be a 107 if he does eventually go into that set of soft. But Connor out on top, Justas second, Yildirim in third. That lap time very good. Campbell as well, also improved, 108.6 for the set of medium compound tyre. So good lap from Campbell. Clearly drivers now beginning to get in and obviously feeling that there's no difference really between the set of softs and mediums.
Yeah, only a slight difference. But we've seen with Connor, when you have a rear limited setup, that can really cost you in the last sector. So that's quite interesting that it's even happening on the mediums. I also saw Campbell struggling a little bit there. Obviously now rushing back into the pits. One thing you want to do is also burn some fuel on the hard lap, so they go out quite early. Justas actually crashed on his medium lap again, and had to pit after invalidation, I think front wing damage as well. And he's going out on a set of mediums again. So he's not quite finished yet with that thought of qualifying on mediums.
Jav's saying we're going to have a dry evening apparently tonight in Division 1, which is very good. Hopefully everyone's got their spectacles out, like the Hyperlight advertisement at the top of the hill coming through Mirabo. Connor out on top though, Justas in second, Yildirim in third. 4 minutes to go in the session though. Connor leading the way on that set of medium compounded tyres. It is a very good lap so far by the AlphaTauri. Can he though come under pressure from the likes of Justas, from the likes of possibly Izza and Packer, who are obviously on out laps as well. Packer and Izza I think are a little way way off where Justas is in terms of the track. Justas just coming through to back and then through the swimming pool section. We'll run on board with this because I think he'll probably improve on this set of medium compounder tyres. So the Ferrari now about to prepare up for his lap. Coming through Raskas and coming through Anthony Norge at turn 19. Connor out on top, but can Justas now put the fight to Connor with 3 minutes to go in the session here in Monaco? Let's find out. Running down and towards Sandoval for the first time on this lap. Very nicely negotiated through turn 1 and then up through Beau Rivage at turn 2 and then in toward the left-hander of Massenet at turn number 3 and then through the right-hander of turn number 4 at Casino Square, and on the run down through Mirabeau. This is a quick first sector from Justas and he's 1100 up on this time. In theory, he's 2,000 quicker than Connor before the end of this lap. Justas though coming to the Grand Hotel hairpin, now coming through turn 7, now down in towards Portier's. Connor goes even quicker, 108.4, and now Justas has to find something special. That was done on 3 lap all mediums as well from Connor's lap time. Justas now running down the hill in towards the Nivelle chicane. Can he get this car stopped? Yes he can, through, nicely negotiated through Nivelle chicane and then through the left-hander. This is quick from Justas coming through the middle sector. He's 800 up, he's purple in the middle sector. I think that's indicative of his own time rather than the improvement, but he flew through there. He's got Koen Blight just off the left-hand side and gives him a little bit of something to think about. Sideways out of turn 18, sideways out of Anthony Norge. This is going to be very close to cleaner final corner on the run to the line, and he goes quickest, and I think that cleaner final corner gave him the run to the line and outscores Connor by 3,000ths of a second of the minute. Justas now out on top with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Connor went again on the same set on mediums. He was 1.7 down on the second split, but then got it all back in the last sector. But Justas with a bit fresh tyres, that was it.
Packer's looking quite quick here to the line, and he goes 5th. He remains 5th position, 108.8. Good lap time, didn't really improve his position. Nathan is invalidated as well. Izza is invalid. Rudy has just gone on to a lap, but he's 9/10 down on the first sector. Koen Blight is invalid. Just trying to see if anybody's actually on a lap. Neo isn't.
Rubrim is on a lap, but he's a 10th down already in the first sector, as people are queuing up quite a bit in the middle sector as well. As Campbell is about to start his lap. His final attempt.
I think Yildirim might have backed off this lap, actually, coming through Portier. Yes, he has. Yildirim has backed off this lap. Campbell coming up the hill in towards Mirabeau at turn number... not Mirabeau. Massenet, turn number 3. See if this is going to be improvement on this sort of soft compounder tyre. Coming to the right-hander. This is not a lap, I don't think, from Campbell. Coming to the first sector. Yeah, he's backed off the lap. Justas still out on top. Connor second. Yildirim in third. It's still just less than 2 minutes as well, and about a minute to go in the session now.
Yeah, people making mistakes now. Obviously, you have to risk a bit more. Nathan also had a bit of a wall contact, and reminds me always of a bit of Pink Floyd, another prick in the wall. Sorry, Nathan. Yeah, Connor decides that's it for his qualifying, and people now are under pressure with the final runs.
Dylan improving on his lap. Oh, and actually he doesn't improve on his lap. He was a 10th.5 up, but didn't improve. He's on the same lap time as Koen Blight as well. Koen Blight in 9th position, Dylan in 10th, and actually they get jumped down because Killer Blue has just gone 8th. Good lap time from him. Nothing not on the lap. Euron not on the lap. Neil's not on the lap either. Neither is Pease. Further down the field, Wouter, I think, is. He's a 10th.5 up through the first sector. So we're on board with Wouter for now. Justas and Yildirim, are they on their laps as well? Justas is 10th down, but he's backed off. Yildirim in behind as well. And actually, Yildirim, 700 up. So we're right on board with Yildirim. Looks like Wouter's probably going to improve on that sort of soft. Pease' van coming out the Nivelle chicane, just literally in front of Yildirim, as now Yildirim comes through to back at turn 12, and he's up by 500ths of a second. Not a very good improvement though in the middle sector. Rides the curb nicely. That was quick through there. Now in towards Anthony Norge and Larascas. Larascas first, then Anthony Norge. This is quick from Yildirim. I don't think it's going to be quick enough though. Yildirim now running to the line. And he's not quick enough. He goes 600ths of a second off Justas, who is not improving in the first sector, but he's only 1500ths down. Campbell, however, is improving. He's on a set of soft compounder tyre, and now the Scotsman has got to put it in as Izza has crashed coming out the Nivelle chicane, and Campbell has to avoid, and there's more carnage coming through there. I think that was Rocco crashing through there, and now Campbell actually is still 2.5 tenths up on this lap. The Scotsman is flying, coming through Larascas, coming into Anthony Norge, and he comes back into the pit lane.
Oh, that was a graveyard full of cars there. incredible. But yeah, they absolutely destroyed this lap. It's Justas going for it again.
Yeah.
So he's putting some wear on the tires. Probably not sure if anyone is going to beat him, so he just tries to beat his own lap time at the moment. It looks not too bad.
Oof.
But he just doesn't improve it.
Doesn't improve it, but that is the end of qualifying, and Justas didn't need to improve it in the end. Connor, of course, crashed out the session, I think, early on or retired in the pit lane, one of the two. Justas still out on top. 3 thousandths of a second. Probably can't get any closer than that around here at Monaco. Justas out on top. Connor in second, Yildirim in third. Quite a sparse. The real divided grid, I've got to say, in terms of the times. Justas all the way down to Nia was covered by a second, so the top 15 covered by a second. If you're likes, though, further down the field, 18th, 19th position, you're more than a second off the pace, you're probably going to have a really bad time of it, of course, going into the race. But Justas out on top, 3 thousandths of a second. Connor in second, also starting on that set of medium compound tyres compared to the relentless man in front. Yildirim there in third. Campbell also on the mediums in fourth. Packer there in fifth, good qualifying from him. Rudy, quite underdog performance there in qualifying. He's sixth. Nathan in seventh, Izra in eighth, Killer Blue in ninth, and Kuhn Bly ran off the top 10 on the same lap time as Dylan, who was in 11th position, and he starts on that fresh compound of tyre. Nothing in 12th, Ruta 13th, Euron in 14th, Neo in 15th, Pease in 16th, Marine, Rocco, Verstappen down in 19th position, and Jensen did get a lap time in, not representative at all. He's right down the back of the field, but Justas out on top, Connor in second, and this run down and towards Sander Voort is going to be quite crucial. Who is going to get the better start?
Yeah, and this qualifying just shows how dominant Campbell, Justas, Connor, three wheel users can be on such a track. Qualifying at the front with mediums in such a tight league usually is really impressive, and yeah, as I said, the first lap is going to be important in terms of who's going to lead the first stint, but at the same time, when you're the guy in P2, you then have a bit more aggressive strategy options than the guy in P1.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously we were talking before the stream came live about the strategy. I was saying around 3% in terms of the set of medium compound tyres around here per lap. You could get around 30 laps out of those mediums if you're really good on your tyres, and you only get to around 60% tyre wear. But more drivers obviously starting on that set of soft compound tyre. It's going to be fascinating, I think, to see obviously what strategies everyone's going to go on later on in the race. Of course, there's no real threat of rain in the race either, which is good. And that means pretty much a well and truly sparked battle towards the end of the race. But on that set of soft compound tyre, obviously we've got the front two starting on a set of mediums. Third place, of course, is the Alpine of Yildirim, who's starting obviously on that set of soft compound tyre. In theory, first half of the race, he's going to be quicker than the guys ahead of him.
Yeah, he should be also getting a great launch, as we now see the tyre allocations from everyone, and Jensen is doing what I would do in his position. Putting on a set of softs, trying to make a couple of positions at the start maybe, then pit lap 1 if there are incidents and front wing changes, pit lap 2, and go for the biggest undercut the world has ever seen. So, well, definitely a smart decision by Jensen, I would say. And yeah, soft runners will probably be quicker for 3, 4, 5 laps, depending on how they manage the tyre temperature, but it'll be interesting to see if Yildirim can actually make up a position or two at the start behind Connor and Justas.
You'd like to imagine, so he's on that set of soft compound tyre. He is only there in third position on that set of soft compound tyre. He's starting on the second row of the grid. And normally when we commentate around here, I normally say pole position is probably going to get the win come the end of the race. That could be true, but you've got Yildirim on that set of soft compound tyre. You've got 7 out of the 10 drivers as well on a set of soft compound tyre. So really, Justas and Connor for the first half of the race are going to be up against it, trying to keep Yildirim and the likes of the soft runners in behind.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial for them and their strategy. But at the same time, if you think about it, they might have to overtake at the end. So this whole combination just makes for an interesting race. And the guy in pole doesn't necessarily has to win this race, as we see some disqualifications. James, your top 3?
My top 3, I want retribution for Connor after some very questionable stupiding last week. So I'm going to go Connor for the win. I'm going to go Yildirim for second. And I'm going to go, why not, Jensen for third.
I go Connor, Justas, Jensen actually.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. Hopefully Jensen now proves us completely right and gets on the podium come to the end of the race. Otherwise, we're going to be looking like a very melted commentary box possibly here. Justas though out on top. Connor in second. The run down in towards Sandoval is very short. The 5 Knights of Ryder go out here for round 5 of the championship in Division 1. And it is... Light 10, away we go, and I think Connor's just got the better start than Justas. He will tuck him behind, and Yilbrim obviously hasn't got the start needed, and Justas leads the way in towards Sandoval at turn 1. Connor in second, Yilbrim in third, side by side further down the field. Nathan nearly got chopped up in the wall by Packer there. Wouter and Kumblai have obviously lost positions further down the field. Coming through Massenate for the first time, flicking through the field. Nobody is going side by side through there, which is good, and everyone is clean through safely. There's actually Marine holds to the inside line, and Verstappen tries to go around the outside. Jensen has made up 2 positions from the start. There's a dive bomb down the inside into Mirabo, and that was Ruta going all the way around the outside. Now is the Constantina effect though into the Grand Hotel hairpin, and you can see drivers going slow. Klumbai though doesn't even care. He goes around the outside of Ruta coming through, and he doesn't get the move done. He has to bail out of that one as Ruta goes back into P12, and now Eurona side by side with them coming through the tunnel section. This is for 13th and 14th position. Justas though out in front. Connor in second. Yilbrim in third. Eurona dives it down the inside on, and Kumblai they're very close, and somebody has to back out. Kumblai does, and he's already picked up a 3-second penalty. I think that one will probably get removed considering he had nowhere to go. Kumblai though down in 13th. Justas though got the start. Connor in second, Yilbrim in third. No real changes up front apart from further down the field where Jensen has gained positions. Most positions gained actually out on track is Jensen as well as Killably, who have gained 2 positions as Rudy is into the pit lane. Jensen is into the pit lane. They must have picked up front wing damage.
I think Jensen has not got front wing damage. I think he's just going for his undercut strategy. He's just making a slight adjustment maybe, but yeah, he's going for mediums. He's rolling the dice, and Rudy, I don't know if he had damage. I don't think he had damage either.
No.
I think he's just gambling as well. Why not? Can't overtake. Might as well go for a cheeky pit stop.
Both drivers, of course, were on that set of soft compound tyres, so I think it's absolutely key. The undercut is going to be so potent, but they've got to remember, medium runners, early on in the race, they've got to get their tyres on line probably quicker than the guys further down the field, and then obviously you're catching further down the field, and therefore you're probably not going to get any overtakes done. So I think that's what the guys ahead probably expecting for Rudy and Jensen to get caught up on one another, as Jeroen gets a phenomenal run out of the Nivelle chicane down the inside and towards the back, and Kumblai just cuts him off completely on the inside line there. I think Jeroen had no right to go down the inside line. Kumblai had the car ahead still, and Kuhn still in P12, Jeroen in P13. They're getting quite animated, I've got to say, in terms of that battle. Jeroen nearly slides it coming through Larascas as well, as P's on the back of him to try and get the run down in towards turn number 1, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. But we'll ride on board with this battle still. P's could line up a move in towards Massenane Casino Square, but I don't think he is going to be close enough. I've said this before, and it normally does happen. But no, Pease is on the back of Jeroen, still there in 14th position. Still out in front, though. Justas leading the way. He's gained a second on Connor after the start, of course. Yilbrim there in third. And Yilbrim now, and that's at a soft component tyres. I think this is what you said earlier on. Obviously, the softs, 3, 4, 5 laps, depending on the strategy, they're going to be going off the cliff. And it seems like Campbell is just getting held up by Yilbrim slightly.
Yeah, now the tyres are starting to overheat. For the pad guys, it's the front. For the wheel guys, it's probably the rears in the last sector then. But yeah, he's losing time. And it'll be interesting to see if he's going to hold up the field a little bit. Making possibilities for Rudy and Jensen with their undercut strategies. Or if he's going to pick quite soon as well. But at the moment, he's just holding on ahead of Campbell. But he's losing quite a lot now. So already 1.5 seconds after only 3 laps on literally the better tyre, and he's wasting his ERS, so pit stops might be coming soon for him as well.
Yeah, possibly so. Connor, by the way, right on the back of Justas, set the fastest lap of the race last time around and was considerably quicker through the final sector as well. So Connor clearly feels like the final sector is possibly his run to try and get Justas later on in this race. I don't expect moves to come quite early on, though. Yilbrim there in third, Campbell in fourth. On the run down in towards Mirabel, not quite close enough, but Yilbrim there still in third, Campbell there in fourth, and into the Grand Hotel hairpin. Again, a bit of a Constantina effect going through there as we now come through in towards Portier, turn number 8. Still, Connor, though, applying a lot of pressure, I've got to say, to Justas. It's almost as if Justas, his mediums are struggling through the first and middle sectors. The final sector for Connor seems to be a lot quicker, and it seems to be proving the case, because Justas is just struggling slightly. Connor obviously gapped now to 6 tenths per second, but watch him coming through the final sector. Can Connor now catch back up to the Justas? Probably the answer coming through the swimming pool section is yes, because Justas gets a slide and Connor nearly gets it into the wall. My God, that was close. And Connor again just has to correct the steering coming through the Rascas as Killer Blue has crashed out the session.
Oh, this might be some kind of safety car. Just saw the undercut guys gaining 7/10
on Marine into the wall as well. Sorry to cut you off. Marine into the wall, hard into the wall. No front wing, but unfortunately around Monaco we do have a safety car glitch, so I don't think there'll be any actually coming out tonight.
Yeah, is there?
There is. Unfortunately, I had that in PSGL, and there was a safety car glitch, and we didn't have a single safety car.
Yeah, the safety car in Monaco is the worst thing that can happen to you, but yeah, bad luck for Killebrew. The swing punch chicane once again claiming a victim. So easy to tap just one wall or getting oversteer snap like Connor did. He saved that actually quite impressively. But we see Campbell now is probably the next guy to overtake someone as he's applying loads of pressure on Jewel Bream. Campbell has to manage his ERS. It's so hard to gain it back on this track. And he's already down to 30%, so he has to be patient or either make the move right now, on this lap, or down the DRS straight.
Yeah, further down the field as well. Neo and Rocco getting quite close. Jeroen and Kumbla there look like they're going to reflame their battle. Certainly out on track, and Jeroen there in 12th position on the back of Kumbla. It's so difficult coming through the swimming pool section, especially on a set of softs. As Nathan now comes into the pit lane, he did get wide coming through the Nivelle chicane. It was actually Kumbla comes into the pit lane just in front of Jeroen. Looks like Nathan has got front wing damage, and Kumbla also into the pit lane. I think this will be more for an undercut strategy because I don't think there is a front wing change going to be happening here for the Williams, and he's going to go on to a set of medium compounded tyres. So Kumbla in set of mediums, he's going to be out just behind. In fact, he's just ahead of Nathan coming out the pit lane. Further up the field though, Neo under pressure from Verstappen. Verstappen has gained positions early on, and the Mercedes now trying to get him down in towards Mirabel. Not going to be quite close enough, but if Verstappen is close enough next time around, Neo is going to be under considerable pressure as Marine has came into the pit lane to retire.
Yep, the next one to give up here. Rudy and Jensen both jumped Kumbla and Nathan. Nathan obviously with wing damage has absolutely lost loads of time there, but I think soft runners are going to pit quite soon now. Campbell's getting held so much by Drew Bream at this stage. Drew Bream already 3 seconds behind the lead, so Campbell is probably trying to save a P3 at this rate. So Drew Bream coming in, no he's still not, but Campbell is now really close. If he can get the exit, he's trying to get close, but turn 1 is so sketchy, can't really dive it here. So I think Mirabel is the better place if he can get a run.
Yeah, Massenet could be the run up towards turn 3. If he's close enough, he could try and go around the outside, but he's not close enough, and I think Campbell's just really waiting in behind on Newbury, maybe to make a mistake, maybe for him to come into the pit lane. Campbell, I think, though, need to apply a bit of pressure, put him into a bit of full sense out in front, and then put him in maybe into the wall and get a front wing change out of him, and then he's dropped 7-8 seconds behind. He doesn't have to worry about him later on in the race. Justus out on top, Connor in second, coming through the first third of the race, and Campbell again coming through Portier. He was really close to the wall, really close to the back of Yildirim, and now down into the Nivelle chicane. He could launch an attack here. The Mercedes now on the back of the Alpine. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. That's the first sign, I think, of Campbell just applying a bit of pressure to Yildirim, and Campbell there in fourth has to try and get the move done. Otherwise, his chance possibly of a podium later on, with obviously Rudy and Jensen an alternate strategy, is going to be quite limited.
Yeah, he's losing so much time, and he's not going to get that time back, especially when he's going to have to do like 20 more laps without DRS. So now he's still not quite close enough. It's so hard to get the exit as Packer's now pitting as well. So Drew Bream will be absolutely swallowed by the field once he pits. So he's probably hoping for a safety car, which is apparently not going to happen with that glitch, as Jeff also mentions in the comment section. So yeah, Drew Bream seems to lose his race and also Campbell's race at this stage.
I tell you what, Jeroen's going to have a go at Ruta down the inside of Massenet. Surely not going to pull this one off to the inside line. On the outside line goes Ruta. They're still fighting side by side. This is the battle we wanted to see. And now, down in towards Mirabel, they're still side by side. And Ruta just gives him a little bit of a tap. And the Haas gets caught on each other as well. And look at Pease in behind as well. Relentless, I think now. An inter-team war is kicking off here in Monaco. Ruta to the inside line. Just about holds on. Wow, that was intense. And Ruta now through and he's into 7th position. Jeroen there and 8th. There was no giving up battle there from either of them. Pease just waited in behind, thinking, you know what, if you two crash, I'm probably going to pick up all the pieces, and that was exactly the case. And Ruta and your own prove you can battle around Monaco, and they're throwing these into 7th and 8th position respectfully.
Yeah, they actually did a great job to keep it as clean as possible, leaving each other room, and Campbell actually finally released. Felt like a prisoner on that first lap. I'm looking forward to watching back Verstappen's stream to hear Campbell swear the shit out of poor Julebream. So yeah, but he's 6 seconds behind the lead. Luckily he's a little bit of a gap behind, but I think that puts Rudy in net P3.
It does put Rudy in net P3. Yeah, Julebream coming out the pit lane, he's 4 seconds behind. And interestingly, he's going to be around 3.5 seconds behind coming out the pit lane. No, it's going to end up more 4 seconds. So Julebream on the back of him, he's on 7-lap pressure tyres. Those 7-lap pressure tyres are going to come good towards the end of the race. Nathan, by the way, and Koen Bly are looking quite close up towards Massenet. Doesn't get the move done though. Now coming down in towards Mirabole, coming down in towards turn number 5. Koen Bly 15th, Nathan in 16th, currently hanging on. But Justas still out in front. Connor in second, and Connor now just seems to be losing a little bit of grip and momentum possibly on the back of Justas. 9/10 of a second as he hits the wall, and I need to give him a commentator's curse. The AlphaTauri really now beginning to struggle. I think he's just pressurising himself, I think, a little bit too much. There's no need to really hit the wall. Of course, it's a very tight streak at Circuit Monaco, but in Connor's eye, he's got 7 seconds to Campbell. He need not worry if he's going to be catching the back of Justas. As long as he stays within a second of him, I think that's all that matters at this stage.
Yeah, both now pushing a bit with the ERS as well. You can't overdrive the track really, as the tyres will just punish you really hard as Nuth is into the pits. Is that for front wing change? Looks like it, yeah. It's going damage, and the hard tyre is not the tyre you really want to drive on this game, on this track. So him and Wouter not in a good position now on that set of tyres for sure.
Verstappen was on the back of Neo coming up the hill and towards Casino Square. Oh, Neo gets very sideways coming out of Casino, and now on the run down and towards Mirabole, keeps the position, but he's got Rocco ahead of him. And again, Verstappen is just being caught up in a bit of false sense because obviously he's on that fresher medium compared to the guys ahead of him, or some of the guys ahead of him at least. Verstappen in 9th position. Obviously, you would expect him to come onto a set of soft compound tyre, maybe around lap 21, 22-ish, I would think, and then they can make 17 laps quite comfortably on that set of soft compound tyre. Running down in towards the Novell chicane, he's not quite close enough again, but we should see hopefully a move happening, maybe in towards Casino Square, maybe in towards Massenet. That part of the track seems to be everyone's favourite overtaking opportunity these days in Monaco. Justas leads the way, Connor in second, and Connor gains a 10th last lap around on Justas. 8/10 per second the gap. Campbell there in third. Because they're in a DRS train in front, Campbell's losing time considerably.
Yep. Campbell just driving pretty much on his own at this stage. And looking at the train with Verstappen and Neo, Rudy now is actually just at the back of them, so his thing is now either overtake or save the tyres as much as he possibly can. Julebream already closed in by over 2 seconds to him, so it'll be interesting to see if he is the next one to make a move in this race.
But look at where they've came out. This is exactly what I said earlier on. They've pitted in so early, they're going to be caught up in traffic, and they're not going to be released for a good 10, 11 laps at least, I think, out on track. And Rudy and Julebream are now going to be struggling. They've got to get their elbows out. It's quite simple as that, because the Ferrari, I don't think, is going to get the moves done. And Rudy, usually in these situations, I've seen him in PSG LF3, and he's normally quite cautious when it comes to scenarios like this, and obviously wants to try and put pressure on everyone's mistakes in front of him rather than behind. Connor, by the way, is getting another 2/10 per second on Justas after the last lap around. 8/10 the gap running up the hill in towards Massenet. Still, again, not quite close enough, and I think Connor's just content to run outside of 8/10, not pick up that dirty air, and Justas currently holding a little bit of a dominant position, I've got to say, out in front. Another 3/4 gained on Campbell last lap around. Further down the field again with that train running through in towards Sandoval at turn 1. Neo on the back of Rocco. Got close to the wall there, Neo. Don't think he hit the wall, actually. And Verstappen on the back of him. It's just really a little bit of a maybe a boring premise so far in this race, as Nathan close up to the back of Koen Bly, but yet again he's not quite close enough in towards Massenet.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate situation at the moment. No one's really able to make some moves. And Rudy and Julebream are now experiencing the big issue of Monaco. If you pit early, you're at some point going to catch a train, and then you have to drive at their pace, which is probably slower than the one from the leaders. So at this stage, it's just losing time to even the medium runners with the older mediums and the guys on the fresher mediums themselves.
Yeah, completely so, and I think, honestly, if I was in Rudy and Yildirim's case, especially Yildirim's case, I'd be wanting to try and pinpoint where Rudy goes wrong, where the likes of Verstappen go wrong ahead, and you've got to try and plan out your move one by one. Yildirim at the minute, he's not going anywhere, I'm afraid, and Rudy is exactly the same, because they're on a fresher strategy, they're getting caught up in a big wash effect, basically, through the final corners, and they're running in dirty air. Even though they're running DRS, the dirty air is still very prevalent, and they're going to be under significant amounts of pressure. Jensen and clear air is coming back into this as well, and Yildirim, again, on the back of Rudy, this could be a move up towards Massenet and Casino Square, but again, not quite close enough. But that was the first intention, I think, for Yildirim, maybe warning that Rudy is going to be overtaken soon. Yildirim on the back of him, used up a bit of deployment, but he was gaining underneath Rudy's rear wing, so Yildirim has got the pace to try and get past him.
Yeah, Yildirim is probably the one on the move with a lot fresher mediums that can actually make a little bit of a difference on each corner exit. But at the same time, I'm just looking at the leaders now. They almost have a pit stop gap to Dylan in P4, so now it's really time to think about his strategy, and they probably will have a clean fight to the end, and it's just whoever blinks first is gonna get the undercut on the guy ahead. Now it's just about making the softs last in the last stint then.
Fight further down the field as well. Kumbloy, Nathan are having a go. Verstappen has picked up a 3-second penalty in 9th position. And now Nathan on the back of Kumbloy. Was on the back, and Kumbloy gets very, very sideways coming out of Raskas. Or coming into Raskas, I should say. And now Nathan on the back of him. Jensen, I think, hit the wall, possibly. And that's why he's struggling. So Jensen into the pit lane on a set of medium compound tyre. Not going well for him at all. And unfortunately for him, I think our position, P3 position, possibly not going to happen. Yildirim again on the back of Rudy. And again, he uses up deployment, but not quite close enough to Rudy on the back of him, and it's almost as if Rudy is just following Verstappen. He wants to follow as much as possible in that slipstream. Yildirim, though, I think there's a sense of impatience coming in from him now.
Yeah, he thought about it there, but you have to be so close, you have to get the run. As I said, it's my favorite position to overtake there, but you have to be a bit cheeky and trust the guy ahead that he sees and doesn't turn in, and you have to commit completely, otherwise you're both going to be in an awkward situation. Rudy just looking like he could maybe attack Verstappen if he really wanted to, because Verstappen is also derating on the straights now. But I don't think, as I said, he's taking the risk. He's willing to take that risk to just stick one on the inside of Verstappen at some point.
Yeah, definitely so. I'm watching the battle for the lead as well. Connor, again, considerably getting close, and Neo under pressure from Verstappen, causing a bit of a Constantine effect coming in towards Raskas, and Verstappen again on the back of him. What I was just saying on there, Connor was catching Justas, but again, the gap just extends out. It's hovering around 7-8 tenths per second at this point in time. Nobody, I don't think, is going to be close enough, unless you're Yildirim on the back of Rudy. Rudy again, got a little bit of dirty air to go into this time, and again, it's just caught an effect. It's almost like a bit of a game of chess at this point. Everyone is going for playing a bit tactically at this moment in time. They don't want to obviously get moves. They don't obviously want to cause a safety car either if they fight too hard. And Rudy there in 10th, Yildirim in 11th. And it's almost as if you want to will them to get a battle done, but or a move done, but you can't because it's Monaco.
Yeah, but tell that Neo, he's absolutely in the debris diffuser of Rocco.
Ooh.
And he might just about think about him, but he didn't use his ERS. That could have been a move, but he plays it safe as well. Still waiting for someone to hit that inside wall.
As Pease is retired. Pease is that coming through the Vel chicane. I wonder if that's going to cause a safety car. I don't think it will. Justas, however, though, was into the pit lane. Set a hard compound of tyres, and I think Connor's probably just been awarded the race victory, perhaps, because Justas into the pit lane, set a hard compound of tyres. They're going to get to the end of the race, no problem at all, but he's in clear air. That is absolutely crucial. Your own, by the way, on the back of Dylan, is going to go to the inside of Massenet, just in behind for P4 and 5. Your own fights into the wall, and Dylan nearly gets forced into the wall. That was aggressive from your own. Gets the move done. Bit of push to pass, to be honest, in that as well, but Jonas Thurnies into fourth. Dylan had to back out, otherwise he was going in the wall.
Yeah, Dylan actually quite cautiously backed out, so he thinks it's not worth defending this position to the absolute limit. But Justas on hards, he obviously spotted that he could now pit. He had the gap to Jeroen and Dylan, but that's early, and at the same time, Connor is pitting as well. Can they not make it on the mediums? And now has Justas done enough on his outlap to threaten Connor?
I don't think so. I think Connor possibly could come out ahead here compared to Justas. Justas coming through Raskas. Connor's coming pretty much out the pit lane now. This is going to be extremely close coming out the pit lane. And I think Justas will have the run. But Connor remembers on the inside line and he's really sideways coming out the pit lane. And Justas hangs on to the lead. But Connor has gained time. 7/10 of a second, 8/10 coming out the pit lane. And in fact, in the end, Connor has actually lost time compared to Justas. So Justas now in the net lead of the race. He's in second position. He's now in the net lead of the race. Connor there in third. And Connor... that undercut strategy, he could have went a little bit further on and tried to get the move done. And speaking of moves done, Yildirim tried to get the back of Rudy in towards Massenet. Oh, and the gap has just appeared, and he has to take that as it comes. And that is the best move I think I've ever seen around Monaco. Yildirim is through, and he's into P8, and the gap, it was like the parting of the Red Sea. Yildirim through, and he's into 8th position.
Yeah,
and that was easy.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move. Just noticing Rudy is losing time, so he's got damage on the right side end plate. So that race has gone horribly wrong for him. He was in such a good position, and now Isa is on the back of him, obviously noticing that as well. Is he going to send him to the inside? Surely he is.
Oh, there's contact!
The back of him.
And Rudy gets full stone coming through the Belt chicane as well, and Izza has to stay in behind. I think fair play to Izza, he could have easily gone ahead of him there, but with Rudy holding him up, best thing to do, just wait him behind. Everyone else will probably realise that Rudy's got damage, and they've got to slow each other up here. Constantine effect is going to be in full effect, but as long as Rudy is still ahead coming through Lascas, which he is, he continues on. Rudy continues on, so this is causing a big effect in behind, and Izza is not close enough down in towards Sandoval at turn 1. Yildirim again, though, is on the back of Neo. I wonder if he's going to go for the move around the outside. He's on the inside again for Massenet. Doesn't get the move done. Izza, though, Rudy, Kumblai, and Kumblai actually with Rudy into the wall. Nathan, I think, has gone into the wall as well, and he's got damage, I believe, as well. So I'm not sure if Nathan and Rudy had a bit of contact there. But all things kicking off here in Monaco. Yildirim on the back of Neil, not getting quite close enough again. Campbell leads the way, Justas second, Connor in third. We're barely halfway through in Monaco.
Yeah, it's getting hectic now. Rudy just got bump and runs by Izza into turn 1. Justas and Connor probably realising also the soft wasn't a good race tyre so far. So they might have just gone on their hearts to play it safe. But yeah, it's pretty much chances gone for Connor to make a move at this stage. Hard call. Campbell's staying out. He's probably gambling on something to happen, and I don't see why not.
Well, to be honest, Campbell's going to come out in 5th position, and wherever you look at it, Campbell there in 5th position is going to be quite key. Rudy, I think, just let through Nuff there coming through to back, and that's what the yellow flag was for. Connor, oh, he got sideways there. I think he nearly hit the wall, actually, coming through Casino. Didn't hit the wall enough, though. Yildirim, by the way, is on the back of Neo. This is inevitable for Yildirim to get the move done on Neo. Again, tries the inside line of Massenet, but can't find the gap. Rocco is basically holding these two up, and now Yildirim down towards Mirabo has to send this. Licked the stamp and send it down the inside. He gets caught in the inside wall, though, and Yildirim still cannot find a way through. This is the difficulty of overtaking around Monaco. You get too close to the wall, you're not in line to get the overtake done, and that's just proven to good effect because Yildirim hit the rear right tyre on his car on the wall, and he didn't get the move done, but he could do here at Nivelle Chicane.
Yeah, he's so close, but he's out of ERS. Is he sending it? No. It's literally a German civil war at this stage. Rocco, I'm not sure whether he's got wing damage or not, because he seems to understeer absolutely everywhere. So we hear some guys scraping the walls. Yildirim is out of ERS, Neo has some in his battery, but yeah, Rocco seems to be holding on the train.
Jensen's been left as well, and Jensen's just latching onto the back of this train as well. This is quite funny. AI against human car, basically, at this point. Yildirim, though, again on the back. He's not quite close enough to Neo. I wonder if Neo's going to have a go at Rocco, maybe, down in towards Massenet. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough, though. The Red Bull on the back of the McLaren, and yeah, he's not going to be close enough in towards Massenet. Halfway through, though, in Monaco, Campbell leads the way. Justas is gaining now along with Connor. They're dragging each other along. They're pulling away from your own. Neo again on the back of Rocco, not quite close enough. But inevitable. It's going to be inevitable. Something is going to happen between these three, and it might might end up being quite nasty.
Yeah, it's so close, and it just can't see this up every time. And Neo just doesn't look like he actually wants to attack Rocco. So Yildirim is still trying to get close, but he's just wasting his ERS unnecessarily on some straights, which is just costing him the extra boost he needs. As Neo is actually pushing Rocco around the track at this stage.
Yeah, Jensen pushing Yildirim as well on the back of Neo, and Neo again through the swimming pool section, he is so much slower than Yildirim. Yildirim can easily eat him up as if he's got a fish and chip dinner in front of him. Yildirim on the back of Neo is going to try and get the move done. He has to. There's going to be some sort of impatience now growing for Yildirim. The German has to try and get the move done on his fellow countryman. Jensen has retired into the pit lane, so he's had enough of that battle and now actually frees the likes of Izza and Kumbly up on the back. Yildirim again, though, not quite close enough to the back of Neo. Back for the net battle for the lead of them. Net Campbell's still leading, of course. Justas gaining another second on Campbell last lap around. And Connor, now 0.5 of a second away. Got about 8% more ERS than Justas at this stage as well. And Connor now looking all over the back of him. And this is the first indication I get Connor really means business.
Yeah, on these hard tires they can now push as hard as they want to. Even a bit of sliding is okay. Both of them sitting on one warning so far for corner cutting, so shouldn't be decided by that, as we see Jensen's car going on track for a final couple of corners. And Campbell still staying out, but yeah, Justas is now gaining quite a lot of time.
Connor on the back of Justas coming through. Sandoval not going to be quite close enough. Yeah, Jensen's AI car, by the way, should get out of the way, coming down and towards Mirabeau. Yeah, it's pulled off track at Mirabeau, so Jensen's car is AI now retiring. Pease, Moran and Killer Blue also being 3 of the retirements out of this race alongside Jensen. So 4 out the race. Yildirim again on the back of Neo, down in towards turn 1 at Sandoval. He's not going to be quite close enough, but Neo again quite close to the back of Rocco. And now look at Izza, Kumbly all latching onto the back of this queue as well. This is a 6-car train for 6th position at this stage. Rocco, Neo, Yildirim. Basically, hesitancy, I think, has now put them in a very dangerous situation because Izza and Kumbly are now on the back, and now Yildirim is just going to send it down the inside on. He had to pull that move off down the inside on, and that was brilliant in the end. Pushed the pass, but he had to go for that. Constantine effect or not, Yildirim through and he's into 7th, gets the job done, and patience is a virtue, but not around Monaco. Patience is not a virtue, and he's now probably going to get Rocco, yeah, down in towards Nivelle chicane. But actually, he's quite slow off Portier. Has he got any...
I think he missed it. He missed an upshift, so that was quite weird. Maybe he doesn't even want to overtake at this stage, but yeah, that just cost him this time. We have to remember, some of these guys still have to pit as well, so Yildirim is just fighting for a race time at this stage, and he has to get past Rocco to cement the top 5, top 6 probably. That's the most he could get.
Yeah, Yildirim still on the back of Rocco. He's got to try and get the move done again. If I'm a betting man, and I normally am, I think he's going to go for it maybe down in towards turn 1. I was going to say Casino Square, but down the inside of Sandoval gets the job done. He's through on Rocco and he's into 6th position, and now, finally, he's in clear air. What can he now do? 13.8 seconds behind Dylan. He's more than 20 seconds off the lead, nearly 25 seconds, in fact, off the lead. Yildirim, his race has run, but possibly 4th place on the cards?
Yeah, it depends on how quick Jerome and Dylan will be on a set of soft tyres. But yeah, net P4 at this stage. And Connor's really pushing Justas around at this stage. Both of them sliding all around the shop. Connor actually living his favourite movie out, Wall-E, at this stage. So yeah, interesting battle in the lead. And Jerome is now pitting. He took that quite careful, not wanting to risk anything in that pit entry.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, you've got to be cautious around here. He's going to come out, though, in that train of cars, possibly, I think, ahead of Kumbly coming out the pit lane. This is going to be quite close. He's got a... Oh, I thought he had a front wing change. He's on to a set of hard Campana tyres. Really?
Yeah.
He's going to be coming out the pit lane. Actually, he's going to be ahead of Yildirim. Wow! Yaron is ahead of Yildirim coming out the pit lane. I thought he was going to be further down the field. He's not. Yaron out of the pit lane ahead of Yildirim. Yildirim has now got a target locked on in front of him. And Yildirim now, 6th position, 15 lap old mediums against 0 lap old hard Campana tyres. Probably, I'd be favouring more Yildirim at this stage with those tyres being more warmed up.
Yeah, he needs to get the move done now, though, and you should see...
Connor's round! Connor round off Nivelle chicane! Right side and left side and plate damage on the car, so Connor has gone, I think, too deep into the wall, coming to the Nivelle chicane. He's trying to correct it. I think he's got caught that left side, basically. He's overcorrected himself, and Connor... Daniel Hoggold was right in the comment section. He was living 9 lives out on track. There's the first of his 9 lives gone. Connor into the pit lane. Luckily for him, I think, he's going to be ahead of Rocco if he comes out the pit lane. I would assume this is going to be for a set of softs.
Set
mediums.
Set of mediums, yeah, why not? Good call, maybe. But yeah, why did I mention anything? Why did I say something about him last lap round? And that's going to be costly. I think he's going to be behind Rocco, and we've seen with Drew Bream, if he had made that move on Rocco in the tunnel, he would have been ahead of Tyrone.
Oh, wow.
Connor's going to be behind the train. So yeah, that's championship points on the drain.
He's still in championship points, still in 11th position. He's got to rely, because Rocco and Neo still probably come into the pit lane. You never know, Izza, Kumbly and Packer might have to come into the pit lane as well. Connor, fresh out of mediums, what can he do? Already he's looking quicker than Packer, and I think down in towards Mirrorbow we could go for this. Down the inside line, absolutely sends it down the inside. Packer was not aware of that one coming, and Connor is through. These are the moves he has to make around Monaco, Connor, and he's through and he's into 10th position. And probably down into the Bell Chicane he's going to get 9th as Campbell is now into the pit lane from the race lead.
Yeah, look at Connor's pace. The difference is just insane, and he has to be careful. I think he hit the inside wall right here as well. Ooh. Oh, that's tight. Oh,
Kumbly gets a penalty, and it's nearly like Formula E. Oh my god! Kumbly forced him on the wall. Kumbly forced him onto the wall. That was pretty much. If you've seen the Winter Olympics this season, this week, it's like a bobsleigh coming out of that final corner. The final two corners, Connor's into the pit lane, and he's crashed into the pit wall. And unfortunately, I rode on board with that, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Justas leads the way, Dylan in second, Campbell in third. Connor, he got forced up in that battle with Kumbly. I think on hindsight, he'll probably look and see the stream and say to himself, I shouldn't have gone for that move. I've risked not only my own race, but Kumbly's own race. Campbell, by the way, has got through on Dylan down the tunnel, through into second position he goes. Yeah, I think Dylan has let him through. Yeah.
He's just slowed down on the exit, like he's the lapped car. Well, there's no place for him to fight for that position. So yeah, obviously Connor had the pace advantage. People had to pit, so it's easy to think that people will just move out the way because they are smart with the strategies and know they have no business fighting someone. But you can't just send it all the time and then expect them to really move out the way. And if someone doesn't, that happens, and then you obviously get damage, and that's a lot of points lost and probably penalties to come for the next race.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, to be honest. I mean, the battle was fair coming through the Novell chicane, and then it seemed like Kumbly rejoined the track. Connor was on the left-hand side of him. He nearly got forced to the wall. Remember John-Eric Verne in Formula E? It was a bit like that, to be honest. He got forced into the wall, and then Kumbly got forced into the wall back, and it was almost as if you do it, I do it, 50-50. In the end, they both came together. In the end, there's been a crash, and in the end, it could have been avoided.
Yeah, I think it all went downhill when Justas made that, now in hindsight, brilliant strategy call. But yeah, I think this race could have been won by doing different strategies from different drivers. But we'll talk about that later, as Izza is now mounting an attack on Neo. Is he sending it? No, not this time. Oh, Packer's getting close as well.
Yeah, they're all falling
position, by the way.
Yeah, they're all falling over each other, to be honest, in this mid-pack. Rocco there still sick. He is now pulling away from Neo, but because that battle happened between Kumbly and Connor, it sort of spaced them out slightly, and now Izza can now attack on the back of Neo. Remember, they were off the back completely, this battle. Izza and Packer were behind Kumbly. Kumbly latched them onto the back of this queue as a 6-car queue. Now it's a 5-car queue, and still going to be a very interesting battle. Rocco and Neo, you would imagine, still to come into the pit lane, going on to a set of soft compound tyre. I'm going to pose a question to you now, though. Justas 18.5 seconds clear. Is it possible he could come in for a set of soft compound tyres and still be in the lead of this race?
Yeah, I think it's just over 19-ish seconds, the pit window. If he can stretch a gap, he's in a 10-lap worse tyres, but if he can stretch a gap just by a couple of seconds, he might give it a thought to put on a set of softs. Usually, when you enter the tunnel on the minimap, you know you're going to come out where the Sector 1 split is. So if people are aware, they're probably not, of that, they can maybe calculate if it's just about enough to go for it at the end. But I think Campbell is now gaining a bit on the fresher tyres, though.
Yeah, he is 18.4 seconds. I mean, he's only gained, what, 0.3 of a second on the back of Justas. And Justas, to be fair, he's going to come out about 6 cents per second behind Campbell if he was decided to come into the big lane. Jeroen, however, on the back of Dylan. Dylan, I think, could have a let-through here. I really want to see Jeroen absolutely send this down the outside line of Casino Square. He might go down the inside of Massenet. Dylan, I think, is going to back out the battle. He does, and Jeroen is through, and he's into P3. Nice job there by Jeroen. Still, Dylan didn't make it easy enough, though, and that is very good, because we want to see that. Yildirim now latching onto the back of these two, and Dylan would still come into the pit lane. What would you do if you were Dylan? Move out the way for Yildirim and let Yildirim attack Jeroen, or Jeroen, will he pull away?
Let him move past. His tyres are absolutely dead. I think Dylan is in that weird position. If he pits now, he's in that huge train, and that's not where he wants to be. So he's waiting until they pit, until he can pit. But he's lost a whole pit stop to Jeroen, because Jeroen already overtook him at the same corner last time, if you remember. Yeah. So yeah, he's probably going to leave Yildirim through as well, because he's just going to lose himself time, and Isa is now as close as he ever was. Is he sending it this time? Still not. Rocco just making that slight defensive move. That's enough to put Isa away from deciding to go for that move.
If he kept the deployment on through the tunnel, Isa probably would have got that move around the outside. Yildirim, by the way, is through down the inside line of in towards Sandoval. Turn 1, he's through and he's into 4th. And now, 2.3 seconds to Jeroen ahead. Jeroen, I've got to say, he's driven a very, very good race tonight. Campbell as well, 2nd position. Jeroen there in 3rd. Both of them, of course, were on an alternate strategy. They've done a phenomenal job in 2nd and 3rd. Justas, though, 18.5 seconds clear. He could be rivaling Campbell, I think, for the win around here. Isa, by the way, getting on the back of Rocco, running up the hill and towards Massenet and Casino Square. But again, he's literally like a thorn in Rocco's side, I think, at this stage of the race. He's right on the back of him. He can't find a way through, and Rocco is doing every bit in his power to not let him through. But looking at Rocco's tyres, and I've been looking at his right front, they're shot.
Yeah, look at that. Yildirim was getting past Rocco a couple of laps ago. He's 17, 18, 19 seconds ahead. So Rocco, I think he must have some kind of damage, or he's chosen the completely wrong setup, because it's understeer, it's just unbearable to watch. And Isa is just literally stuck. Oh, nearly made some F1 babies there, Jesus. Yeah, that's some close stuff. And the people with hearts are coming into play quite soon. Newton Verstappen, freshest tyres, maybe to the end of the race. They could have launched an attack as Packers, doing some Tokyo drifting style as well.
If I was Verstappen, I'd probably wait in behind, because this is going to kick off ahead. Rocco's going to come into the pit lane. Dylan as well is going to come into the pit lane. They're going to be out and around each other, possibly behind this pack when they come out. If I was Verstappen, he's got 7-lap fresher tyres compared to enough. He's doing the right thing. He's backing off everyone to basically say, you know what, you guys go at it. I'm going to just pick up 3 positions wherever they come about. And I think Verstappen's strategy at this point, I think, is right in the race, because he's trying to limit the amount of dirty air he's actually running into. Enough there in P9 at the minute is doing such a good job. He's in there, but can the German try and find a way through? Nathan, by the way, further down the field is into the pit lane. He's going for a set of medium compounder tyres. So Nathan into the pit lane, still in 14th position, outside of the points. Kumbly as well, outside of the points, but still good to see them both running around. Justas still leading the way, 18.2 seconds. Isa is going to go for it down into the Vel chicane. Absolutely sends it down the inside, and there's actually contact with the wall on the left side, and Rocco just escapes from the scene as if he's done nothing wrong. And to be fair, Isa sent it, but it's the connection on the wall. The front left touched the wall slightly. It's enough to send the car off centre. Dylan has pitted into the pit lane, and Dylan is actually going to possibly come out ahead of these guys now.
Yeah, he's now got the gap because of their slow pace. That inside wall in the Vel chicane is... Yeah, I think
he hasn't. He hasn't. He's going to come out right in the middle of this, I think. Dylan is going to come out behind Rocco. Or is he going to be side by side with Isa? Oh, he's actually just ahead. Wow.
Packer almost got this as well. Yeah, that inside wall in the Vel chicane is actually giving me nightmares as well, as Rudy is back in the business. Where is he coming from?
I think Nuth had a mistake coming out of turn 1. I think he went too far into the wall. I'm not sure if there was damage on Nuth's car. It doesn't look like it from here, but the way he's losing time suggests there is. Constantine effect again into the Grand Hotel hairpin. Now it's a 6-car train. Dylan has exploded out in front. He's now 2 seconds clear of Rocco. Rocco is now holding these guys up. Isa has got to lick the stamp and send it this lap around, surely. He's waiting in behind for basically Rocco to come into the pit lane. Rocco might not come into the pits until lap 38. These guys are going to be behind each other. They've got Neo closing down on a set of softs. It's going to be an 8-car train all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation. Rudy with the wing damage. This race is looking so good at some point. Now that would look like it was all over, and now he's right at the back of the train, sending it into Rosgas on Verstappen. That will be one move of the day. Easy.
No way.
You don't want to go side by side there. Oh, beautiful.
Oh wow! Oh, and he's got the move done as well. Rudy is through, but look at nothing behind as well. Verstappen. Not going to be quite close enough. There's a bit of contact actually with Verstappen's rear end. Enough just gives him right away in the corner. Verstappen stays ahead, P9. Neil there in P11. Rudy absolutely sent that. He had so much better traction compared to what from wing damage. In fact, he's actually been in to the pit lane, I think. That from wing damage is now completely gone. I think that he must have repaired it in the pit stop. And now Rudy, all of a sudden, is in 8th position. Possibly on, if Yildirim's coming back into the pit lane, could it be on for possible top 5 if he gets going later on the race?
Yeah, the renaissance of Rudy. That's a performance and a half from him, and now he has the freshest tyres of them 3, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make a move as Nathan gets the fastest lap, but I think Dylan is on an absolute flyer, going for the extra point, but at the same time he's taking it quite cautiously. No need to risk too much when it will be a great result for him, so maybe just taking it a bit cautiously. As Justas is not just eking out that gap at the front, so he might still think that purple thing belongs to him.
Yeah, Dylan taking it cautiously. He was only 6 seconds quicker than his personal best and was more than a second off Nathan's fastest lap, so I think Dylan has probably got a little way to go to possibly get that fastest lap of the race. Justas leading the way, Campbell in second, Jeroen in third. And Campbell, he pitted in 10 laps later than Justas, obviously. Strategy has not worked out for him. 18.6 seconds behind. Justas is controlling the race in front. And Campbell has just not gained any time at all. The gap has just been completely stagnant since he's come out the pit lane.
Yeah, and my question is about... Oh, as the Trubim hits the wall. Trubim hit the wall, so that
3
might be some
seconds
damage.
as well.
Yeah. And I think Jeroen's penalty can be removed at the end of the race, so that was just cancelled out by Trubim getting a penalty there, so yeah, and probably some front wing damage, but looks to be just about fine. I might have gone away with it. As Dylan gets a penalty, well, he's in absolute no man's land, so he won't be bothered by that.
Yeah, penalties, by the way, coming towards the end of the race. We're on lap 35. These guys are on lap 34, the likes of Rudy and Packer. In terms of the penalties, there are the penalties. Jeroen, Yildirim, Dylan, Izza, Ruta, Rocco have all picked up 3 seconds. Verstappen, Nathan and Kumbly have all picked up 6 seconds worth of penalties. Everyone else is on no penalties at all, unless you're unlucky to get a penalty on the final lap of the race. Yildirim, however, P4 at the minute. He's obviously on the same amount of penalties as Jeroen. Jeroen's tyres just seem to be dropping off slightly. Yildirim could be getting that second win on that set of mediums. And he's there on sufferance and catching them as well.
Yeah, he is. Incredible stuff. It's so close through the hairpin. You can see the Pat guys barely getting it around on one front tyres as well. Kuhn not having the greatest of races and now just adding a penalty to his collection, and he's got severe front wing damage. He's not even got a front wing anymore, so the new air pocket for next week probably.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think Kumbly obviously focusing on the races of next week. Nathan as well, exactly the same. He came in for sort of whole compounded tyres. There is a battle, by the way, nothing neatly getting the inside on to back. There is a front wing, just come off completely. That's Kumbly, I think, coming through to back where he hit the wall. And Neo, on that sort of soft compounded tyre, I don't think he's going to be going anywhere at this stage. Yildirim has also lost time to the back of Jeroen. It's 1.3 seconds now, the gap. Justas still leading the way, though. Campbell in second, Jeroen in third. Neo now on the back of Nuth. Is he try and get the move done? Maybe in towards Massenet or Casino Square through 3 and 4. See the Red Bull on the back of the Williams, and yeah, no intention clear from Neo to try and get this move done. He waiting behind, and I think it's probably right because he's at the back of a train. He's probably only going to get one car in this train, you would imagine, and he may as well not risk it because he's still in the points.
Yeah, now it's all about risk
Ooh.
management, really.
Oh, and Rudy!
Pushing Packer
Rudy!
around the hairpin.
On the back of Packer, shoving Packer on the inside curb, coming through. Rudy's wanting business here. Rudy wants to get this move done, and I think this could be the time. Running down to the Novell chicane, where he could, but Packer now pulls away from him. Running down to the Novell chicane, and the Aston Martin stays ahead of the Ferrari. The Ferrari, though, looking so much quicker through that first sector, through in towards the Grand Hotel hairpin. Whereas Yulbreen, by the way, came on the back of Jeroen. Jeroen is now struggling. It's 0.2 of a second all of a sudden. Has Jeroen got damage?
Trying to see.
If it is, it's left side.
Damage. Not obvious damage. Not really visual, but yeah, true. We're also pushing him around the track now. Packer's rear tires are absolutely shot. Can barely keep it on track. So is he even gonna make it to the end on those? Oh, as Rudy's also getting a bit twitchy. But yeah, interesting to see Yulbreen come back at Jeroen, but he's got a bit of a gap back now. But yeah, interesting that Jeroen seems to be struggling. He might have some damage, yeah, on the inside of the front wing, I believe.
Or he might have made a mistake. And he has got damage now. Right side end plate damaged up on the car, through to back, and now Yulbreen surely going to be picking up a simple P3 here. Jeroen, though, I think all intentions clear. He wants his podium. He's going to stay out. Yulbreen now can attack. Jeroen may as well stay out there.
2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. This is going to be an intense fight because now Yulbreen has got to get it done out on track. He's got to realise he's probably seen the front wing damage come off the car, and Jeroen can't even get the car turned into Sander Vort. And Yulbreen now, surely this is going to be easy pickings up the hill. But again, Jeroen, quicker straight line speed, more ERS, and he's still pulling away from him. Yulbreen again on the back. I think Yulbreen possibly into Mirabo down the inside. Oh, easy. Easy. Good Lovely move. Stuff. Yulbreen's through to third.
Yeah, good move, and Jeroen is now just praying for someone to give him a handbrake to get it around those hairpins. But yeah, that was a podium thrown away for him, which is a big shame, and he picks up another penalty, so I think Dylan might get him, actually. Considering the pace advantage, yeah.
Rudy nearly got onto the back of Packer as well, coming through Massenet. This battle for 7th is still raging on. Rocco, by the way, is on the back of Ruta further down the field, and this is for a battle, and actually Rocco was just at the wall on the left side.
Oh, Rudy, they're all crashing. Verstappen on the outside of the hairpin on Rudy almost. They're all crashing into each other. Tight stuff, Packer just holding a big old train. It's a Packer the tank engine all over again.
Packer the tank engine. That's a great one. Justas, by the way, is coming through Portier. I can't believe this. It's the final lap of the race. He's 19 seconds clear of Campbell at this point, and Justas clearly going to be going on for the race sprint. We'll cut to the battle for 6th and 7th, and the lights further down the field shortly, but Justas now coming through to back at turn number 12. If he doesn't crash out now, he's going to be running the race here in Monaco. It has been an utterly dominant drive from Justas in the end. He comes through now, gets very sideways, and he nearly crashes coming through. Oh my god, I thought that was going to be the ultimate commentator's curse there. Justas, though, through the final corner, anti-dodge. I think that might have just been showing off. Justas now running to the line. Wins in Monaco. Wow, what a finale. He nearly crashed into the wall. Rudy, by the way, is on the back of Packer. We're going to focus on this battle now. Campbell is going to come across the line. He's coming through Anthony Norwich on the mini-map. He's going to finish in 2nd position. A good drive from him. And Yulbreen is probably going to get 3rd as well, as they go very wide into the Grand Hotel hairpin. Rudy is trying to get every inch of track to work to Packer to his advantage rather than Packer's ahead. And Packer there in 7th is now going to come under significant pressure from Rudy. But I don't think Rudy is going to be close enough into the Novell chicane unless he absolutely sends it from a mile back. He's not going to get the move done. Yulbreen, by the way, through the final corner to come across the line to finish in 3rd. And now the final sector commences for these guys. Izza nearly runs into the wall, and now Packer. And yeah, Izza's tyres are going, and now Packer right on the back, and it's going to be a Constantine infecting to Raskas. Goodness knows what's going to happen. Rudy tries to go down the inside line, and there's more carnage. Packer's now through, and now Rudy's down the inside line, and it's madness, and this is in the wall. Izza in the wall, Packer to the line. It's going to finish in 6th in the end. Rudy in 7th, Verstappen in 8th. That finish will definitely get looked at. Half the field, in fact, was even lapped on the final lap. And breathe after that battle. Oh my god. Justas takes the win. Drive of the day, Wilblingham fans. Yeah, Jeroen, I think definitely deserving possibly drive of the day. Fantastic drive, even if he picked up front wing damage late on. He finishes in 4th. in the end. But to the top step of the podium, doing a whip and an A-nay and possibly Gangnam Style, there it is, Justas at the top step of the podium, and the championship leader extends his championship lead for the first time this season and is the first dual winner of the season as well, I think.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he didn't have. Did he win a race?
Did he win a race? I don't think he did. No, it's a fifth different winner. Justas, fifth different winner. 2 second places in San Marino and in Imola and in France, I should say. But Justas now gets the win that he so richly deserves. He's been consistent throughout the season. No points, of course, picked up in Austria. But Justas takes the win here in Monaco. Campbell in the end in second. Yildirim in third. Dylan in the end is fourth. I don't know how that happened. Dylan in the end fourth. Oh, he's got him on penalties by 6 cents per second. So Jeroen finishes in fifth. Still a solid drive from him, though. Packer in sixth, Rudy in seventh, Nothing eighth, Neo in ninth, Isra in 10th, Verstappen 11th. I think that pack, certainly 6th down for 11th, they'll get changed around, I think. Reuter in the end finishing in 12th. He did finish under his own accord, a lap down. Rocco, Nathan, Kumbloy all finished the race. Connor, Jensen, Pease, Marine and Killer Blue didn't. DNF out of the race. Justas wins, Campbell in second, Yildirim in third. Shall we try and get the top 3 in?
Yeah, I suspect Jeroen is not going to join because he's not speaking English, if I'm correct with that, but well, I'll try anyways. So yeah, I'm going to try to invite them.
Oh, that was absolute mad one, I think, here in Monaco. Fantastic action out on track, and I think living up to the Jewel of the Crown, definitely. And if you're Justas, and if you're relentless, you're going to be very happy with the result, because Justas takes the win. So much for our top 3 predictions, with Connor and Jensen ending up out of the race in the end. But still a solid drive from Justas' perspective. He takes a really good race win. He extends the championship lead as well. Everything for him went completely right.
Yeah, and obviously Connor with a big mistake, that's gonna make his life in the championship easier. But I'm just happy that we saw a good Monaco, to be honest.
I'm really glad we saw a good Monaco, fantastic Monaco Grand Prix, and hopefully more to come, of course, next week as the bandwagon rolls on. And I will check in terms of the calendar where we are at next. And God Save the Queen. Land of Hope and Glory. We're in Britain, of course, at Silverstone next week. Normally around there, it is a good race in League of Europe. We go to Jeddah the week after that as well. 2 really good races coming up. I cannot wait, especially Britain next week. Where are we going to get a 6th different winner of the season?
Probably, because Britain is such a weird track on the games. So usually some guys are quick that are usually not that quick. So could well be another different winner. I wouldn't rule that out yet.
Definitely not. Hopefully, as I say, we'll get the top 3 in. Mercedes, I believe, as well, with Campbell and Verstappen, extend their championship lead over both AlphaTauris, because, of course, they didn't finish. So Mercedes leading the Constructors' Championship by a good way, as we now can speak to our race winner. That is, of course, Relentless Justas. And Justas, you came under a bit of pressure, I've got to say, from Connor in the early stage of the race. Pressure was taken off, of course, with Connor getting from wing damage, and in the end, you took a 19-second victory out on track. Talk us through it, because it got very leery coming through the swimming pool section in the final lap.
Yeah. Thank you. It was, a difficult race. I'm really exhausted now. At the start I was a bit shaky. I wanted to avoid the walls, just get into the rhythm. Yeah, but I think I handled everything all right. Connor was pushing, but I think I had the pace, had the battery, so I didn't think too much about him. I was just monitoring the gap to the other cars. So as soon as the 19-second gap appeared, I bolted into the pits, put the hearts in, and went on ahead. So I don't know what happened to Connor, but the difference was 3 thousandths, I think, just in the Proi. But I don't know. I'm struggling to find the words. It's just exhausting.
Exhausting, definitely. It is Monaco after all. 39 laps around here can really take the mental toll. But it didn't really, because you've actually won your first race of the season. 5th different run of the season. You must be very happy still.
Oh yeah. I think I was on for the win in a couple other races, but yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I'm really happy to finally get a win. And back to the trains next week. Mamma mia.
Back to the trains indeed, and of course we go to Britain next week. That is going to be a fantastic track to go on. Montano, however, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, Lava Vakras. I don't know what congrats means, but congrats on your first win of the season.
Thank you.
So I have two questions. First about the strategy. Were you always going for medium hard, or was it just a decision you took because you had the gap behind?
No, I haven't touched the hards on practice, so like that was the new experience for me on the track. But it felt alright. Yeah, I looked at the gaps. I saw Connor is right behind me, so I didn't want to be undercutted. And so I just monitored the gaps, and as soon as I could pit, I did that. So yeah, I think it worked out alright.
Yeah, and then at the end of the race, we were a bit disappointed. We hoped that you would go for a fast lap attempt, even if that included overtaking Campbell on the way fresh as soft on his heart.
Oh,
was there
man.
any thought about that?
I was being tempted the whole time. Like, I don't know, maybe he was baiting me into pitting because that gap didn't change, like 18 seconds and a half. I was being tempted all the time, but I didn't want to risk it for the 1 point, so yeah, I'm happy with the 25 points I'll take.
Yeah, no, you definitely can be. So yeah, congrats again and enjoy that sweet victory.
Yeah, thank you.
Very welcome indeed. We'll now move on to the man who finished in P2, of course. Was Campbell, and Campbell, fantastic drive from you out on track, and finishing in P2 in the end. You got the strategy call wrong on the second stint, you hardly gained any time in the end, but still a P2 finish quite solid.
Yeah, I mean, strategy, like, getting held up at the start, I mean, I was just going to go long, hopefully get a safety car, or even a virtual safety car, gain back some of the time I lost, but yeah, I mean, for race time it was wrong, but I was gambling with it. But then at the end, I just want to keep the gap around that 18.5 second mark, just make sure Fustas couldn't get the fastest lap, or the pit stop gap, as he says. I wasn't toying, I was just making sure it didn't get above that range, because after when I came out the stops, there was no need for me to push at all to get to the end. It was pretty safe P2, so just don't let him get that gap for the pit stop.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously with that strategy call came a lot of traffic, I think, in the way, and obviously you waited in behind the traffic. Was it always your intention to obviously go long into the race and obviously expect that safety car to come out, even though there is a safety car glitch around here?
Yeah, it was more easily, as I said, the virtual would have been nice, but obviously we didn't get it, but the strategy was just to go until the gap opened up. Of course, losing so much at the start meant I had to go a bit longer to wait for the gap around Dylan to open up and I could drop out in some decent cleaner. Thanks to him for letting me through. He doesn't need to do that, so yeah, I appreciate that. I'll give him a nice message later and say thank you for that, but yeah, it was just to go until the gap opened up, which the mediums here can do, which is why I wanted to qualify on them so much.
Yeah, and still, P2 finish, as I say, very solid indeed. Montana, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, first of all, congrats also to you. I think that's a decent display of your skills around this beautiful street track. You said you were gambling, but I think you meant campbelling at the start. But what were some of the swear words you used when you get held up by Jurbeam, like 2 seconds per lap? Were you quite annoyed?
It was all calm, you know. Never a bad word said. We're all very...
I look forward to watching back Verstappen's stream to hear you.
I don't know what you mean.
Then at the end, were you actually just trying to hold back a bit to maybe tempt Eustace into fastest lap, or were you just taking it safe from that point on?
It was just keeping the gap around that value. Like, I know the pit stop loss is in 18.5 to 19.5 seconds, so just keeping that range to stop him from even thinking about it. I could go quicker, but that just puts my own car at risk, so it was drive at a pace I was happy at, and that was enough to get me home P2 today, so I'll happily take it.
Yeah, I think you can happily take that. And you got Britain next week, which I think you're not that big of a fan of, are you?
Not really. I've never really gotten the flow of the track, but I mean, Portugal wasn't very good at, and well, I'm a lad I enjoyed, but wasn't very quick, and now that seems to have swung around this season at least. So who knows? I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot in practice to find a setup that seems to make me a bit quicker than last season, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, ask me when you need a good setup, and otherwise, congrats again, and look forward to see you next week.
Thank you very much.
very welcome indeed, and that will conclude the interviews. Of course, Yilbream I don't think is joining the interviews, if I'm not mistaken. Still a good solid finish though in P3, and that of course ends off our coverage for Division 1 of the Monaco Grand Prix. And Montana, I'm going to come across to you. Who on earth is your overall driver of the day?
Whoa, you know what? This might be controversial, but I go for Rudy. He drove beautifully, made mistakes, but his pace was great, and at the same time also useless because he was absolutely flawless in that race. So those two are my drivers. What about you?
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think Justas certainly drove well. I think Rudy as well, recovering off that, of him being down in, 18th, 19th position at the start of the race, coming into the pit lane on lap 1, did a phenomenal job to come back and finish where he did. And Jeroen, I think, certainly excelled, I think, despite that front wing damage late on, still finished a solid P5, of course, getting outdone with Dylan on the penalties. Probably my drivers to look out for coming out of tonight as well. But we go, as I say, to Britain next week, and Britain, trials and tribulations normally in terms of the DRS train, and the DRS trains are probably quite capable around there of producing some really good action, and we've certainly seen that in the past in LOE.
Yeah, for me it was always the worst track to go to, because it's just impossible to escape each other, so we'll definitely see some action, some overtaking action. Setups will be crucial, and also that beautiful 30-second pit lane will play a big part in the undercuts and overcuts of this certain track. So yeah, can't really go wrong there with an exciting race.
Yeah, pretty much the longest pit lane as well on the F1 calendar, which is unfortunate because there's going to be a lot of action happening up and down the field. Probably, as I say, second half is going to be better than the first half, but really hope that you can join us for that. Division 2 and Division 5 going to be live in around 15 minutes time. Of course, Jay Cull and Daniel Hoggard taking you through Division 2. Packer and Killer Blue taking, of course, you through Division 5. That rounds us off here in Monaco. Really hope you enjoyed it. We're going to see you next week, of course, in Britain for myself and Montana. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.